I'm Ortega. I'm Victor Mogulay.
I'm Eli Vitor.
I'm Sebastian Albuquerque.
And we're doing the Scientific Revolution.
Hi, my name is Juan Ortega and I'm doing my project on advances on medicine and also the human body. All throughout the Middle Ages, most of the European doctors mostly believed that medicine writings of an ancient Greek physician called Galen. Galen is the physician that originated the experiment method in medical investigations and also brought philosophy to medicine. He was an expert in anatomy, pharmaceutics, and also discovered the blood and human arteries. But he never dissected the body of a human being. But instead of studying humans, he studied the anatomy of pigs, cows, and other animals. And he hypothesized that the anatomy of such animals were the same as the human anatomy of a human being. During the 1500s, another very important Flemish physician called Javiselius put Galen's assumptions into test. He later found out that they were mostly wrong. In the year 1543, he wrote a book called The Structure of the Human Body. The book detailed the human organs, muscles, nerves, and bones, which later on changed the way physicians view the human body forever. Later on, by the 1700s, a British physician named Edward Jenner made a vaccine that prevents smallpox. He inoculated live smallpox germs that had been practiced in Asia over the years. He also found out that the inoculation with germs from a disease called cowpox gave us permanent protection from smallpox in our body. He found out that due to the fact that cowpox was a milder disease and that the forms for inoculation were almost 0% in our body. By using this milder disease, Jenner created the first vaccination to exist. Thank you for watching.
My name is Victor Mogulvang and I've got the scientific instruments. These specific instruments helped the scientific revolution a lot, and it really boosted it. And it was these tools that helped the scientists extend their work and reach out to the unknown. There were a lot of helpful instruments invented during that time, and some are still in use to this day, 4,000 years later, such as the microscope, which is a laboratory instrument used to see small objects, a thermometer, a device to tell the temperature, how hot or cold it is at the moment, the telescope, a similar instrument to the microscope, but it's used to look out into space, planets and such. The barometer, an instrument used to measure air pressure in an environment. As said, all of these instruments help scientists a lot. I'm gonna dig in deeper with the microscope and its accomplishments. Zacharias Janssen was credited with inventing the microscope in around 1590, and in 1609 Galileo perfected the invention into the first device ever known as the microscope. The invention of the microscope allowed scientists to see a brand new world containing cells, bacteria, and many other structures that are too small to be seen with the human eye. This gave them a direct look into what scientists would be working with in the future, and this instrument was also a huge boost in medicine. One example of a huge step in medicine was in the 1970s when Anton van Leeuwenhoek used it to examine blood cells for the first time.
I will be doing discoveries in chemistry. During the spread of the scientific revolution, new chemistry discoveries came about. Robert Boyle, whom is considered the founder of chemistry, paved the way for using the scientific method in chemistry. Boyle studied ideas about chemistry and alchemy. Alchemists believed that base metals, such as lead and copper, could be transformed into metals like gold and silver. The Skeptical Chemist is a book Robert Boyle wrote. In this book, he disagreed with Aristotle's beliefs. Aristotle believed that the world consisted of 4 different elements: earth, fire, water, and air. Robert Boyle believes that matter consisted of smaller particles joined together. Robert Boyle's most important contribution to chemistry is his law. Boyle's law explains that pressure of gas, volume, and temperature affect one another. Scholars and philosophers throughout Europe started rethinking old beliefs about the human species and condition. For example, the liberties and rights of normal citizens. These new beliefs changed old relationships between people and government. The beliefs also changed the political landscape in many different societies. New discoveries, such as the X-rays, radioactivity, and new elements, all altered physical chemistry profoundly.
I'm doing the Scientific Revolution instruments. During the Scientific Revolution, scientists needed newer tools to better understand the new world and theories that were surfacing. For instance, in 1609, Galileo created his own telescope and studied the heavens. He learned that Jupiter has 4 moons that orbit it. The sun has dark spots, and the moon's surface is uneven and rough. That contradicted Church's belief. With this information, he published a book named The Starry Messenger. Before Galileo, there was a Polish astronomer named Nicholas Copernicus. He developed the heliocentric theory, or the sun-centered theory. That meant it went against the geocentric theory, that the Earth was at the center of all things and everything revolved around it. At the end of his life, Copernicus published Revolutions of the Heavenly Bodies. A Frenchman, René Descartes, developed analytical geometry, which had linked algebra and geometry together, and provided an important new tool for scientific research. In 1643, one of Galileo's students, Evangelista Torricelli, developed the first barometer. With the use of mercury, it was created to measure atmospheric pressure and predict weather. Danish astronomer Tycho Brahe used Copernicus' idea as a foundation for his research. After recording the planet's movements for many years, he produced mountains of accurate data, but left it to his follower Johannes Kepler to make mathematical sense of them. Kepler concluded that certain mathematical laws govern planetary motion. One law showed that planets must revolve around the sun, thus proving Copernicus' ideas were true. Isaac Newton was an English scientist who discovered that the same motion used in space and planets can be used on Earth. His words were, "The key idea that linked motion in the heavens with motion of the Earth was the law of universal gravitation."